live
Hello,
on
y'all.
the Unreliable podcast.
The Unreliable podcast, you guys. So, first off, you guys know Traci already.
Hello.
We have Jake over here.
Jacob,
He's
yeah.
our guest today. Today actually is a very special day. It's a special episode. As you can see, we're in the outdoors. Mainly because it is our friend Traci's birthday. Well, was it yesterday?
No, today.
Today. How old are you turning, Traci?
Day of my birth. I'm 26.
Nice. How old are
Years
you,
young.
Emily?
26.
I'm 26.
Big 2-6.
2 sixes in the house.
2-6.
Hell yeah,
Quadrupled.
It's not a very impressive number, but honestly, for what we've done in our career, I say it's very goddamn impressive.
I'm impressed.
I'm
Damn
truly
tootin'.
impressed. So,
Can you believe 10 years ago from
That's
now,
when we got our license.
this year? Yeah. We
our
started driving.
license.
We started, doing fun stuff.
Fuck
You
shit.
know?
Man, did you
That
guys
is
learn
when-
how to drive? Did you guys learn how to drive before you took driver's ed?
Yeah.
Same.
I was driving
Yeah.
a car in the field at
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
driving a
Mama's
four-wheel.
Jeep, son.
We'd go out in Brogden, and my
Oh,
dad
dude.
be like, let's switch spots. And I would just be like,
Fuck,
Just want to
yes.
drive the rest of the way home.
I'm so glad we all had irresponsible parents.
yeah,
Yes,
me too.
That was very
Great.
awesome of us.
Very,
Great
very
teaching
good.
moment.
Because when I was in driver's ed, I had a person, and fuck, I don't think she'll watch this, but I had a person in my driver's ed class, and bitch, you know who you are. And you straight up, she didn't know what the difference between gas and brake was. And I said, bitch, what?
That is
Get
step
out of the
one.
fucking driver's seat now.
Absolutely.
My life
not.
was in danger up to that point. So, anyway, it was very weird, because I'm like, I thought everybody's parents let them drive before. But you know what? That's good parents and bad parents. You know,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Some parents are like, you're not even getting behind the wheel when you turn 16. bitch."
Yeah, that's insane. 16? Bitch, I was driving at 13. I had a tattoo when I was 13.
Woo!
I'll be mother.
Which one? The eyeballs?
The eyeballs.
The eyeballs.
The eyeballs. How I met my husband.
I don't know though. It's definitely just our where we grew up and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's the reason that we think it's so
Yeah.
important. You know,
Yeah.
what's the craziest thing is working with youth that have disabilities or whatever their situation. Maybe they're just poor or whatever. Is that they do not have access to a car. They don't.
Yeah,
They do
yeah.
not get a car when they're 16, and so.
No.
They're 18, 19, 20 years old, still living with their parents, and don't have any sort of way of getting to work.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
It's true. I mean,
it's
Well, we're
it's
gonna-
I relate to
necessary
that on a personal
here.
level.
It's so
Truthfully.
necessary. Like, you're doing your kid a really
A
great favor.
disservice.
Well, I'm just
By
saying,
giving them that
You're
privilege.
you're doing them a great favor to just give them a way of getting
Yeah.
anywhere. Like,
Transportation.
transportation.
And honestly, I think living with Emily for so long, that's when I learned, the power of freedom. Hey, what's your dog's name?
Oli.
Oli.
Ollie's here
Oli
with
is
us.
Oli,
our
have some
second guest
free.
here. As you can see, he's going across the camera a couple times. He's breathing hard as shit.
Literally just one of the best dogs I've ever met.
That's cool.
What?
He said, "Is that linked up with that?" I was like, "I'm gonna stick them together."
Yeah.
By the way, I sound like a
Technologies.
40-year-old man because I am just getting over a really bad cold where I lost my voice. So please excuse the
That's
manliness
so
in my voice.
interesting. I feel like I sound like a 15-year-old.
You always sound like a 15-year-old, but we love you.
Yeah.
15-year-old man, is that an
Yeah,
option?
I mean,
man?
that's
I thought it was
definitely
a
a boy.
15-year-old boy.
He's a youth at that point.
I'm a youth.
Anyway, back to
Yeah.
topic. We're here for our one and only guest, Jake, right?
Jacob.
So, Jake, Emily, I know you had a question to ask him first, so I'll let you do that, the honors of introducing our guest and talking to him about the relationship you guys have together, how we got him on the podcast today, and maybe some background about you guys.
Thank you, Carla, for that beautiful introduction. I'd like to say that Jacob is my first cousin, as in numero uno, the best. And we have known each other our entire lives. Well, since you were 5 months old. Since you were 5 months
Yeah,
old,
and
we
then
knew
you got
each other.
born, and then we became friends.
Yes.
How
At some
dare you.
point in there, we were forced to interact our entire lives, and so yeah, at some point, I guess we were like, well, I guess this is okay.
Friends, cousin.
You know, the earliest memory I have of us was, it's kind of embarrassing, but, you know, in the little trailer over there, across the street, being at your house, y'all had that really ugly couch.
That's the only thing you remember.
And Taylor would be doing some like Game Boy, Nintendo stuff or something. I don't know.
Taylor's
But you
her
and
brother,
me
by
would
the
be
way.
up in your parents' bedroom playing with your dolls. I played.
Jake is
Playing with your dolls.
Hey, actually, this is a perfect segue to something. Jake is actually a straight male, by the way. I know you would never guess it by what the sentence he just came out of his mouth, but he was actually the one that we mentioned in, I think, our third episode about the GLG gang, the gay love
God,
gang.
Oh.
Was it gay? Was it gay?
We thought on our episode we talked about how precious it was, and
Like,
how it's funny it was that you guys are all straight males, and like,
Are you all straight though?
are you bi?
God no. I'm boy, I'm straight as a stick, man.
Sometimes sticks
Straight
are
as an
curved.
arrow, boy.
Sticks
Straight
have
as an
Straight
arrow.
as a pasta stick.
What about this dude?
Yeah, that was just a.
Straight.
That was just
He's
a
so
bonding
straight.
moment. It's weird, man. Just like me and I don't know, dude. Just you're young.
Boys are something
You're having
else.
a good time.
Just
It was-
showing
it
your
was
love to your
adorable.
friends.
The more dudes you get together, the more homoerotic it becomes. Like more of a joke it becomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't know.
I like
it's
it.
mob
Okay,
mentality.
That's fine.
know.
I don't
It's
think you have to explain yourself. We all loved it. It
I
was,
mean-
it was a part of our youth.
Yeah, it was fun.
So I don't know. We can dive into
Something else.
what, like, tell us about yourself, and like the whole point of this is about your career.
Okay. My career thus far.
What makes
Thus
Jake
far.
why Jake why?
Yeah, Jake to the Wizard. So yeah, you know, I grew up here, all cool little country boy and whatnot. I thought classic rock was devil music until I was about like 13, 14 years old, and you know, very like country and whatnot. Grew up in
Never
the
would guess by the mustache.
yeah.
And your accent.
Well, the mustache is because of my job now.
I know.
It's the only
so
facial hair I can
fitting.
have, and I want people to take me serious.
I hear you.
And it helps because
Really?
yeah, because you know, if I was a baby face, I feel like I would look less.
Tell him what your job
authoritative.
is.
Yeah, I'm a cop right now, y'all.
I'm a cop right
And
now.
You look like a cop right
But
now.
what was your background before being a cop?
The
yeah, before being a
glasses.
cop, okay, as a child, I was a Boy Scout. You know, all
That's very
American
important.
son,
That is important.
all
to
American.
know.
That was my whole character.
I mean,
love
that
America,
makes
love
sense,
old
the
people.
transition from
You
Boy
know what
Scout
I mean?
to
Stuff like
Yeah.
that. Love.
the community.
You know, like doing right and doing good.
Righteous fellow.
Yeah, so I was in
Truly.
Boy Scouts, very involved with that, nature and camping and whatnot. And then, I don't know, I turned 16. We had a history project, and Mrs., is it Brown? Miss Brown, do you remember her? We had a history project. I interviewed this old man, and he was in the Vietnam War. And I'd always had an interest like being in the military. That was like my dream as a child, as like a little kid. I wanted to be an army man, whatever. And so I interviewed this guy, and he told me a bunch of cool shit about being in Vietnam. And I was like, okay.
What kind of
That's the
shit was
short.
this?
Well, you know, he was saying like, you know, like he was 19 years old. He got 2 Purple Hearts
Oh wow.
in Vietnam, but he got injured 3 times. And the one that they didn't give him a Purple Heart for was because like he was 19, and they were like on the side of a mountain, and he hopped on a jungle tree vine, you know, like a vine hanging down, and he was just swinging around on it, and he fell down a cliff, and broke his
Jesus.
leg.
No Purple Heart for that, huh?
Yeah, he didn't get awarded for that, but I mean like, that, and then he was just telling me about like, you know, just how it was. I always already had an interest anyways ever since I was a little
That
kid.
just brought you over the edge.
And then he showed me some pictures from Vietnam. He showed me a skull that had a Vietnamese dude's skull on like a
Spike.
no, not a spike. It was like they put a big 2x4, a big piece of wood in the ground, and just had the skull nailed up to the thing.
Jesus. And that
And
inspired you?
I just thought like, man, that is
I want to
badass.
see.
That is,
Oh, dear.
you know what I mean? Not in a creepy, morbid way, but in a just more like man,
PTSD
that's manly, son. You know what I mean? Like that's cool.
It hit your ego.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
awesome, boy. Like, let's listen to some metal music and think about that picture I just saw. And so yeah, at that point I was just sold. I was like, hey, it's all I've wanted to do all my life. So when I turned 17, I went and enlisted.
What was
And
that
then-
process like?
What was
Yeah.
the process like?
Mhm.
Oh, dude.
Like, what was going
So-
through your mind whenever you...
Well, I went to the recruiters. I went to like all the different recruiters, and I talked to them.
Dog
And I was
literally
just
taking
like,
me out of the bath.
I was like, okay, what's the Air Force got? And they're like, oh, yo, we sit in chairs and we do this and that. And then
Yeah.
I went to the Navy, and they're like, yeah, you can do like these kind of things. It was nothing cool. It was all very like technical. It was all very, just like very like normal day kind of people jobs.
Office work.
Yeah, office work, being an electrician, a plumber, whatever. I don't know. And then I went to the Army, and they're like, oh, hey, look, we can give you, sign up and you'll get like all this extra money. Sign up for us for whatever job. You can do all this and that. And then I went to the Marine recruiter, and I was like, hey, what do you guys have? Like, what do you got going on? They're like, oh, you're probably too big of a pussy to join anyways. So what do I got to tell you?
The
That
Marines?
sounds like
Yeah.
the Marines.
And I was
That's
like, what'd you say?
I come again?
And they were like,
motherfucking American.
yeah, we don't need you. Like, you can leave. Like, we don't care. We don't need you. Like, we don't need you. You gotta want it. You just have to want to do it. And I was like, shit, dude, that sounds like
Right up my fucking
super
alley.
manly, boy.
Yeah.
And
It hit his ego to the up.
yeah, dude. I mean, they kind of like dared me into it almost. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
reverse
And a real
psychology.
man don't come back down from a dare.
and
is
that's
all
a
I'm
good thing.
saying.
It's almost like a fail-safe.
We
though.
don't back down
Because
You go
if-
for the hardest one.
yeah, because they don't
here. You want
want.
to prove yourself.
They don't want people that just want to grab the extra money. They don't
Yeah.
want people that want to get the
Rich.
super cool job. They want the people that are like, just like manly. I don't know, not manly. Just
Submissive in a way.
What?
Because I mean Marines
They're
that's all about
serving.
is about like pride. The entire Marine branch is about pride, and it's not even
Yeah.
about like we don't care how much we make. We don't care that we make
Yeah,
less
it
than the
was-
person next to us. What we care about is that we both went through that fucking training, and that was goddamn impossible. And somebody in any other branch would have backed the fuck down. But I'm a bad enough bitch that I can get through the shit. It's about pride, about manly.
yeah, that's
Like it's,
yeah, exactly
right?
what it's about. It's more. It's not about the money. It's
No.
not about. They're like. Yeah, they just want you to have that attitude.
Yeah.
That like go get it attitude. They want people with that attitude, and that was the coolest thing to me about them. Is
That's what I like.
they
about
didn't
Marines
try
the
to
most.
beg me to join. They didn't try to like really
reels you in.
recruit
We'll
me.
give you
They were just like
incentives.
they're like, hey, if you're fucking man enough, maybe you can try it. Well, sorry for cussing on your podcast.
I
but-
mean, you can curse. I
Oh,
promise
okay.
you, we're fine. We curse all the fucking time.
But yeah, it's for me. It was mostly like, oh, well, I mean, you think you're man enough? And that was just like a big enough challenge to me. I was like, well, of course I am. And then I joined.
Right.
Of course
And,
I have.
And
So
it
how
was
long
the
did you
greatest
serve?
experience of my life.
How long did you serve?
4 years.
4 years. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So what, like, talk about your transition to civilian life and what, like, finding a job and, like, what job you ended up landing on, but just, like, really about, like, your process on, like, finding
Wait,
a job
wait.
after civilian life, right?
Can you please, though, give like a small description of what you did during those 4 years?
Those 4
Okay.
years, okay. So, you know, you start off going to boot camp, and that was, you know, at the time you think it's hell, you think it sucks and all that, but like you look back and that's actually the easiest part. And it was so much fun. My God, looking back, it was just, what a great time, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, it sucked for sure. Like, it definitely sucked, but the coolest thing about it is it sucks so bad. It's almost like it sucks so bad you can do nothing but laugh about it.
Yeah.
And then be proud that you were able to go through it.
You joshed it up, George.
Yeah.
That's what
So from there, I went to
It's on
school
low
with
battery.
infantry.
Huh?
It's on like low
20%?
Yeah.
All right, well, we need that.
We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
everybody need
20 is good.
20 is fine.
I'm dying.
Okay.
Enough heat?
It's a camaraderie more than anything.
So
It's like you
crazy.
guys are
What's
all
wrong
going
with
through
you?
it together.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
That.
like, I mean, it's all about, like I said, it's all about pride. But it's I mean, a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it was
100%.
cool, dude. It was went to like my job school, which was infantry, and then they told us, they're like, yeah, you know, like there's 300 of us that went to my job school, like in my group, and they're like, yeah, you know, 90% of you, you're all going to be here in North Carolina, here at Camp Lejeune. That's it. And then the night before we graduated the school, they were like, yeah, all right, hey guys, we got a bus coming. Turns out 90% of you are hopping on the bus and going to the airport.
Shit.
You know, you're either going to Hawaii or you're going to California, and maybe
Jesus.
like 10 of you guys are going to stay here.
You know how it was for you? You
Yeah.
just got thrown into it?
Yeah,
Going
yeah.
to California?
Yeah, they're just like, all right,
How do
y'all
they
can go to
decide who
California.
goes where? Do you think?
I think it's
It's
random.
random. It's
I
random.
think it's random.
The scrubs get the worst.
Actually, I think it's not even random.
Families.
They have a list of names, you know,
No.
and then they just go down the alphabet. Like if you're A
Oh.
through, if you happen to be, they need 30 people in Hawaii.
But it's not like
So the
ranked.
first 30 people.
It's
no.
not like they've
Oh, God,
ranked 100 people and the first 30 people go this place and because it's more extreme and the last go here and there.
No. It's by your name. Like
Okay.
I think that's what it was because most of the people that went with me to California, in my group that went to my unit in California, we were all like letters S through me. I
Oh,
was like the last
really?
one.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it was like we were all of us were at the end of the alphabet.
That's interesting. So
And,
you're like, oh, we clearly
Yeah,
understand.
I had a friend
how
of
you
mine who was
chose.
in the Marines, and he told me that like the biggest thing about the Marines is how like they don't give a fuck. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he was just saying how like he had a family and his son was disabled, and so he requested to stay in the States to be able to visit his like disabled son. And basically, like, not even 2 weeks later, he got orders to go to Japan.
Yep.
So it was like, they don't give a fuck. Like, it's like, how dare
Yeah.
you ask for something over everyone else? Like, no one is special. Like, we're
Yeah.
all fucking scum. Like, you're gonna do what the fuck we tell you to do type thing, right?
Not scum, but I mean it was just like bro, you
signed
signed
up
a
for
paper.
this,
So
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
It
Like
could
I
be
had
that.
that happened to my platoon sergeant. He had a wife that had like seizures and shit, and then he had like some like disabled kids or something. I don't know. But he had been lucky enough to been at the same base, stationed at the same place for 15 years. He had bought a house. He had all this, mess going for his special needs family. And then they're like, all right, hey, look, we're going to send you over here to North Carolina now with your family. You're going to have to uproot your family. You're all going to North Carolina.
Damn, dude.
And he was like, oh, wait a minute. But wait, I own a house. My family's here. We're all set up. Everything's good.
A
Can
lot
you
of
please
people
just leave me here?
experience that, though. Yeah.
And they're like, no, you got to go to North Carolina. So he did this thing. It's called fighting orders, which is where you kind of just like appeal. You make basically
Didn't
you
realize
just
you had
like
that.
you make an appeal to the orders that you're given, and you had good reason to or whatever. And he was like, hey, look, I got this special needs family. I can't just uproot them like that.
Yeah.
And then the Marine Corps is just like, well, all right, you don't have to uproot your family, but you're going to go to Japan for 2 years, and they're not welcome to go with you.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
exactly
like,
what happened to him.
They can
He
stay
couldn't
here.
take 'em.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting with like children with autism, especially, I don't know what kind of disability the child had, but like, for
Change
sure,
is not good.
there
for
are a
them.
lot of people who, like, I know of a couple that separated, and even though they separated, the child just lived with the mother just because the father was like, I'm not gonna make him stop
Uproot his
his
life.
yeah, exactly.
Because they have
Like,
routines.
they have
Like,
these routines, and when they get off the routines,
That's when the behavioral
it can
Yeah.
it can be bad. So
Yeah,
it's like,
it's not good for
I mean,
the
I
health.
get it. Like, not wanting to uproot your family if you had a
Yeah.
child like that, it would take years of therapy and like things to get them back to the place they were
Yeah,
at.
agree.
You know, it's just, man, that
I get
sucks.
you. I mean, so like after that, now that we've
Mhm.
talked about your 4
Okay.
years, so like after that, what was civilian
Hold
life
on,
like?
hold on. You
and-
said that you really, really enjoyed being in the military. What do you
Right.
think you enjoyed the most about it? If you had to,
Afghanistan was great.
What was great about it?
Oh, dude, it was just like,
A different world?
oh yeah, man, it was just incredible. It was
Sponsored by Alex.
would you
You
like to
know-
live in the Middle East? Somewhere like
oh
that?
God, no, it was cool to visit. I was
just
there for
asking
6
that,
months.
just
It was which
Oh God, that was a
I don't know. Maybe that's why I have a good look on it because
Did
I was
you
only
enjoy
there
the
for 6 months.
camaraderie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed
Did you try the food?
yeah,
Food
actually
is good.
I was in the Kajaki district
Ooh.
at the Kajaki Dam. It was a hydroelectric
Sounds
dam.
good.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know that.
That
Yeah, it
damn
was
so good.
Kajaki.
Ka-cha, just jockeying right through it. That dam.
Yeah, and it was a dam. It was a hydroelectric dam. It provided the district with electricity, and we had our job was to keep it from the terrorists taking it. You know,
Yeah.
Taliban.
You guys were
And,
just like surveillance at that point. Or no?
Well, I mean, yeah, that and like patrolling, and
Yeah,
just making sure
patrolling,
nothing
surveillance.
happens.
Did y'all get fucked up a lot?
What do you mean? Like,
Drunk?
Yeah.
God no, you can't. We can. We're like the only country that doesn't allow alcohol in a war.
The only
Really?
country.
Dude, the British, they were getting
I'm
fucked up.
sure
The
the British
Australians
are.
were
I'm
getting
sure the
drunk.
Australians are okay with it.
If I'm getting sent to
With a
war
war
and
and
potentially
Danish.
losing
Those
my
two-
life,
I'm gonna have a
Both
flag.
Please take a
countries,
goddamn let me
I
drink
would
and smoke some pot. I mean,
Yeah, the
for
Russians
sure,
were-
dude.
The Russians, of course.
Russians,
of
yeah.
course.
I mean, it was cool. It was like because you got NATO, you know, so you have all these other countries there on like the big bases like Camp Leatherneck, so you can kind of talk to these guys, whatever. So all these other countries, man, they can have beards, they can get drunk, they can have a good time while they're there. Us, no, we got to be sober, man.
you gotta sit around
Um,
the campfire and sing songs.
Yeah, seriously.
Did y'all sing songs?
CAMPFIRESCNG song.
Well, yeah, we did on post, you know, when we're doing our job, like
Yeah.
when we're on post and stuff, garden,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, we sing just to kill time.
Yeah.
You're sitting there for 8 hours.
I feel like it's
You
episode
didn't
of Game of
stare,
Thrones
like, you're
with
sitting
Ed
there.
Sheeran.
Yes, with Ed Sheeran.
With Ed Sheeran and Game of Thrones. That's hilarious.
And they're just sitting around the fire.
Good
just
reference. I like that. That was a great
Game of Thrones
one.
reference, even though it ended so horrible. Anyway, next. 'Cause I will. That's
I was
literally a whole
okay with
episode
the
without
ending.
itself.
I'm just gonna say.
I was satisfied, but that's not good.
I thought it was fine.
The point is,
Okay.
back to now. Are you done with your questions about his military life, so we can move on?
I'm so sorry for interrupting you during that time.
So
I
what's it like to be a
apologize.
cockaroo?
Yeah, no. So yeah, Jake is a cop,
Okay. Yeah,
or
I'm
is
a
it?
cop
Is it
now?
correct me? Okay, cop now.
Policeman, law enforcement
fuzz.
officer, whatever you want to call it.
Policeman.
Mr.
Um,
Officer.
Yeah. What about it?
So, how
What
long
about
have you
it?
been doing it, and how did you come to the conclusion after civilian life that that's what you wanted to do?
It was. I've been doing it a year and a half. It kind of came out of necessity.
I need money.
Yeah.
A
Well,
revolving
no,
door.
because, you know, I got out, I lived in California, went to college for a while, then I moved home, and then my now soon-to-be ex-wife, like, we got back together and decided to get married, and so she was moving out, and I'm like, well, shit, you know, like, I'm doing this under-the-table job for $10 an hour, this ain't gonna work
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be married. I got a
Yeah.
family to support now. So I'm like, well, you know, what kind of job can I do That might maybe
Stable.
like decent money. It'll be stable, whatever. But what can I do that I might enjoy? Because that's my big thing. I don't care about money. I want to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what's most important to me. Everyone I'd ever talked to that had been a cop, they acted like it was the most funnest job in the world. They
Really?
loved it. And I thought, you know what? Maybe that's a good fit.